Everyone knows Zork, or maybe I should say everyone knows something about Zork. Inspired by Colossal Cave Adventure, written between 1977 and 1979 on a DEC PDP-10 by Tim Anderson, Mark Blanc, Bruce Daniels, and David Liebling, and distributed by fledgling Cambridge, Massachusetts company known as Infocom. Zork has infiltrated the minds and imaginations of gamers, nerds, and geeks the world over for generations. Zork itself was so large it had to be broken into 3 parts. Zork, the Great Underground Empire Part 1, later just called Zork I, Zork II, the Wizard of Frobos, and Zork III, the Dungeon Master. These were released on almost every major platform, gaming or not, and were often considered essential software for every computer owner. Recently I was working on the core trilogy, and in an inspired moment while explaining some history of Sierra Online games to a friend, I wondered if there was ever a graphical version of Zork made in English. I spent a while researching, and though I was saddened to find no official graphic Zork had been made, there was a version of Zork I had never heard of, with the title Mini Zork. Since I had recently finished Zork I, and am holding back until I can complete the original trilogy before recording my Let's Plays for release, I thought maybe this could fill a void. Mini Zork, dated 24 November 1987, in-game copyright notice 1988, was released for the Commodore 64 system. This game was released as a freebie on ZZAP Megatape 11 with issue 67 of ZZAP 64 magazine, a European magazine. This issue was 92 pages long cover to cover, of which 43 pages are ads, with one on page 24 advertising a pay-per-minute phone line you could call, with the ad asking you if you are a snogging superstar. But luckily, page 33 verifies that this is the proper source. Also, there seems to be a version for the TRS-80 Color Computer and the Atari 400/800 systems. Now, I'm unable to find the source of the Coco version, but the Atari 8-bit game uses the Z Machine Interpreter by Tom Hunt of CTH, or Closer to Home BBS. So, let's have a look at Mini Zork, a cut-down budget version of the first Zork game, and let's do it on the Atari 800XL. Since this is on a floppy drive with auto boot, we want to just auto boot our system. As you can see, this is the Closer to Home Z-code interpreter. The noise in the background you hear there is the floppy drives. Insert side 1 of the story disk into drive 1. Press return to continue. Mini Zork I, The Great Underground Empire, copyright 1988 Infocom Incorp. All rights reserved. Zork is a registered trademark of Infocom Incorporated. Release 34, serial number 871124. That is 24 November 1987. West of house. You are standing in an open field west of a white house with a boarded front door. You could circle the house to the north or the south. There is a small mailbox here. Let's open the mailbox. Opening the small mailbox reveals a leaflet. Let's get the leaflet. Then read the leaflet. Welcome to Zork, a game of adventure, danger, and low cunning. No computer should be without one. Note, this Mini Zork contains only a subset of the locations, puzzles, and descriptions found in the larger disc-based version of Zork I. Because we are playing this on the Atari, this is a disc-based version. Let's drop the leaflet. And then we're going to head north. And this puts us north of the house. You are facing the north side of a white house. There is no door here, and all the windows are boarded up. A narrow path winds north through the tree. So we are going to go north again. Forest path. This is a path through the dimly lit forest, curving from south to east. A large tree with low branches stands by the edge of the path. On the ground is a pile of leaves. Let's climb the tree. Up a tree. You are 10 feet above the ground, nestled among large branches. Beside you is a small bird's nest. In the bird's nest is a large egg encrusted with precious jewels, apparently scavenged by a childless songbird. Let's get the egg. egg is taken, and you will notice our score has gone up by 6 points. We want to go down the tree. It takes us back to the forest path. And then we are going to go south. North of house again. Here we will go east. Behind house. You are behind the White House. Paths lead into the forest to the east and northeast. In one corner of the house is a small window which is slightly ajar. Let's open the window. With great enough effort, you open the window enough to allow for entry. We go west, and you will see our score go up by 10 points. We are in the kitchen. You're in the kitchen of the White House. A table has been used recently for the preparation of food. A passage leads west, and a dark staircase leads upward. A chimney leads down, and to the east is a small window which is open. A bottle is sitting on the table. The glass bottle contains a quantity of water. On the table is an elongated brown sack smelling of hot peppers. Let's go west again. The living room. The living room opens to the east. To the west is a wooden door, above which is a strange Gothic lettering. The door is nailed shut. There is a trophy case here and a large oriental rug in the center of the room. A battery-powered brass lantern is on the trophy case. Above the trophy case hangs an elvish sword of great antiquity. Let's try to read the Gothic lettering. The engravings translate to, "This space intentionally left blank." I personally believe that is a reference to Mark Blank, one of the authors. Let's go ahead and open the case. And then let's put the egg in the case. As you can see, the parser on this game is much more advanced than the parsers that we are used to. I can actually give it very long commands, and I will show you some of those as we go. The next thing we want to do is move the rug. But before we do, I want to explain that in Zork I, you do not put the egg in the case this early. You'll see when we finally get around to doing Zork I together. Let's go ahead and move the rug. You drag the rug to one side of the room, revealing a closed trap door. Let's get the lantern taken. Then we want to get the sword, the elvish sword. And let's open the trap door. The trapdoor reluctantly opens to reveal a rickety staircase descending into the darkness. So let's go down into the cellar. You have moved into a dark place. The trapdoor crashes shut and you hear someone barring it. It is pitch black. You are likely to be eaten by a grue. Let's light the lamp. The brass lantern is now on. Cellar. You are in a dark, damp cellar with narrow passageways to the north and east. On the west is the bottom of a steep metal ramp which is unclimbable. Let's go deal with the troll first. So we go north into the troll room. This is a small room with passages to the east, northeast, and south, and a forbidden hole leading west. Bloodstains and deep scratches, perhaps made by an axe, mar the walls. A troll brandishing a bloody axe blocks all passages out of the room. So we are going to kill the troll with the sword. A good slash, but it misses the troll by a mile. The axe crashes against the rock, throwing sparks. Let's do it again. Same result. Same result, but this time the axe blade nicks us. And we keep doing this until either the troll dies or we die. The blow lands, making a shallow gash in the troll's arm. The axe crashes against the rock, throwing sparks. The troll is struck on the arm. Blood begins to trickle down. The axe crashes against the rock, throwing sparks. The fatal blow strikes the troll square in the heart. He dies. As the troll breathes his last breath, a cloud of sinister black fog envelops him. When it lifts, the carcass is gone. We do not need the sword anymore. Now we are going to go into the maze. We're going to go west. This is part of a maze of twisty little passages all alike. We're going to go west again. And then we are going to go up. As you see, we are still in the maze, but beside the skeleton is a rusty knife. The deceased adventurer's useless lantern is here. There's a skeleton key here. An old leather bag bulging with coins is here. Now, I could go get bag and then get key, or I can go get bag and key and save myself one step. If you're noticing the score, the left side keeps growing every time we do something that's important or a treasure, etc. And on the right side is how many turns we've taken. So when I hit the return here, the 34 will become a 35. And the 51 is going to become a 62 because the bag is worth 11 points. Leather bag of coins taken. Skeleton key taken. Now let's go southwest. Back into the maze. And then we are going to go up. And then we are going to go northeast. And this puts us in the grating room. We're in a room of the maze, which lies to the southwest. Above you is a grating locked with a skull and crossbones lock. So let's unlock the grate with a key. And then open the grate. The grating opens. A pile of leaves falls onto your head and to the ground. Do you remember the pile of leaves at the tree? We are going to go up to the forest path. And here we want to extinguish the lamp. It saves on power and number of turns it can be used. Now let's head south. We are at the north of the house and we're going to go east. Behind the house where we go west, which takes us into the kitchen. And there's still the bottle on the table, the glass bottle containing water, and the brown bag. And we need to go west again to the living room. And here, as you see, the treasures in the room include the jeweled egg, and we are going to put the bag in the case. And then let's drop the key. Now I think while we are here, we should probably go and get the painting and the knife. So we have to open the trap door again, because remember, it slammed shut behind us. And then let's go down. And then we are in the cellar. It is dark again, so let's light the lamp. And then while we are here, we are going to go east. Studio. This was once an artist's studio. The walls are splattered with paints of 69 different colors. To the west is a doorway, also covered with paint. A dark, narrow chimney leads up from the fireplace. Although you might be able to get up it, it seems unlikely you could get back down. On the far wall is a painting of unparalleled beauty. Let's get the painting. And then we are going to go up. An important thing is that only 2 items can be brought with you through the chimney. If you look at our inventory, We are only carrying 2 items, the painting and a brass lantern. As you see, we are in the kitchen, and so we want to go up the stairs, and since it is dark in the attic, we have the lantern is still on. This is the attic. The only exit is the stairway down. A large coil of rope is lying here on the corner. There is a nasty knife here. Let's get all. And then we are going to head down, back into the kitchen. And we are going to extinguish the lamp. Let's put the knife on the table. And then head west back into the living room and put the painting in the case. Now I think it's time we go to hell. Let's open the trapdoor. Let's go down. We are in the cellar again. Let's light the lamp. And then we will head north, back to the troll room. As you see, there is the sword that we dropped, and there's still the bloody axe there. We want to go northeast to the reservoir south. You're at the south of a large lake, far too deep and wide to be crossed. Paths lead east, south, and southwest. So let's go east to the dam. You're atop flood control dam number 3, which was once quite a tourist attraction. There are exits to the northeast and west, and a scramble down. The sluice gates on the dam are closed. Behind the dam is a wide reservoir. Water is pouring over the top of the abandoned dam. There is a control panel here, on which a large metal bolt is mounted. Above the bolt is a small green plastic bubble. A guidebook entitled Flood Control Dam Number 3 is on the ground. There is a matchbook whose cover says, "Visit beautiful FCD number 3 here." Let's get the matchbook. And then go west, which takes us back to Reservoir South. And then we are going to go south to the round room. This is a circular room with passages in all directions. Several have unfortunately been blocked by cave-in. We are going to go southeast to the dome room. Dome room. You are at the periphery of a large dome, which forms the ceiling of another room below. A wooden railing protects you from a precipitous drop. Let's tie the rope that we got to the railing. The rope drops over the side and comes within 10 feet of the floor. Let's climb down the rope. And this takes us to the temple. Temple. This is a large domed temple. A piece of rope descends from a railing of the dome about 20 feet above, ending some 5 feet above your head. On the east wall is an ancient inscription, probably a prayer in a long-forgotten language. Below the prayer, a stair leads down. The temple's altar is to the south. In the center of the room sits a white marble pedestal. There is a brass bell here. Sitting on the pedestal is a flaming torch made of ivory. Now here we are going to read the inscription. The prayer is a philippic against small insects' absent-mindedness and the picking up and dropping of small objects. All evidence indicates that the beliefs of the ancient Zorkers were obscure. So let's get the torch and the bell. Torch taken, brass bell taken. And from here we go south to the altar. Standing by the temple's altar, you can see a small hole in the floor which leads into darkness. The rest of the temple is north of here. On the 2 ends of the altar are burning candles. On the altar is a large black book open to page 569. We're going to save a step, and instead of picking up the book to read it, we're just going to read the book, and it will take it automatically. Commandment 1259 or 2. O ye who say, Hello, sailor, dost thou know thy sin? Yea, thou shalt be crushed by stones. Shall angry gods turn thee to dust? Shall they stab thy eye with a stick? Even to eternity shalt thou roam, and unto Hades shalt thou be spent at last? Surely thou shalt then repent. That is some complicated reading. Let's get the candles. And then we are going to go down into the windy cave. As you can see, a gust of wind blows out our candles. This does not always happen. This is a tiny cave with entrances west and north, and a dark, forbidding staircase leading down. The reason we wanted the matches is in case the wind blew out our candles. We're going to go down again to the entrance of Hades. You're outside a large gate inscribed, Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. The gate is open. Beyond you can see a desolation with a pile of mangled bodies in one corner. Thousands of voices lamenting some hideous fate can be heard. The gate is barred by evil spirits who jeer at your attempts to pass. Let's ring the bell. You remember the bell we picked up a moment ago? A deep peal issues from the bell. The wraiths stop jeering. An expression of long-forgotten terror takes shape on their ashen faces. In your confusion, the candles drop to the ground, and they are out. Also, in one of my test runs, I did not drop the candles. So that is a maybe will or will not happen event. Let's get the candles. And then we want to light a match. One of the matches starts to burn. Let's light the candles with the match. The candles are now lit. The flames flicker wildly, and the earth trembles beneath your feet. The spirits cower at your unearthly power. The match has gone out. Let's read the book. The prayer reverberates in a deafening confusion. As the last word fades, a heart-stopping scream fills the cavern, and the spirits, sensing a greater power, flee through the wall. Now we need to drop some things that we are not going to use anymore, or else we will get overloaded quickly. So let's drop the matchbook, and the bell, and the candles, and the black book. As you can see, they've all been dropped, so we're going to go south into Hades itself. You have entered the land of the living dead. Thousands of lost souls can be heard weeping and moaning. In a corner are the remains of a previous adventurers less fortunate than yourself. A passage exits to the north. Lying in one corner is a beautifully carved crystal skull. It appears to be grinning at you rather nastily. Let's get the skull. And then we want to head north. This takes us back to the entrance of Hades where we dropped everything. And we want to go up into the windy cave and then north to a twisting passage. This is a crooked corridor from the north with forks to the southwest and south. And we want to go north again. Will take us to a round room. And here we are going to go west, back to the troll room, and then go south into the cellar, and up to the living room where we can put the skull in the case. Done. And now we are going to go get ourselves a scepter. So let's drop the lantern. Since we have the torch, we do not need the lamp for a while. And we're going to go down, back into the cellar. You notice the cellar door we did not have to open back up again. And then we will go north into the troll room, east into the round room, southeast back into the dome room, down into the temple, and this time we are going to go east, which puts us in an Egyptian room. This looks like an Egyptian tomb. A stair ascends to the west. The solid gold coffin used for the burial of Ramesses II is here. Let's get the coffin. And then we are going to head west back to the temple. And here we go south to the altar, and we are going to pray. And this takes us to the forest edge. Paths lead into the forest to the west and the northwest. Also, a well-marked path extends east. Let's go west. And we are in the forest. This is a dimly lit forest with large trees all around. And we go west again, taking us behind the house. Go west into the kitchen. This is through the window. And west one more time to the living room. And here we want to open the coffin. The gold coffin opens. A scepter, possibly that of ancient Egypt itself, is in the coffin. The scepter is ornamented with jewels. Let's get the scepter. And then put the coffin in the case. Done. But there is still more to do. So we're going to go back down into the cellar. And then we are going to head north into the troll room. Northeast to the reservoir south. And here we go east to the dam. Northeast to the maintenance room. This was the maintenance room for flood control dam number 3. Apparently, the room has been ransacked, for most of the valuable equipment is gone. On one wall is a group of buttons colored yellow, brown, and red. The only doorway is southwest. There is a wrench here. There is a screwdriver here. We want both the wrench and the screwdriver, so we are going to get the wrench and screwdriver. And then press the yellow button. Click. Let's go southwest. And this is to the dam. We are atop flood control dam number 3, which was once quite a tourist attraction. There are exits to the northeast and west, and a scramble down. The sluice gates on the dam are closed. Behind the dam is a wide reservoir. Water is pouring over the top of the abandoned dam. There is a control panel here on which a large metal bolt is mounted. Above the bolt is a small green plastic bubble, which is glowing serenely. A guidebook entitled Flood Control Dam Number 3 is on the ground. Let's turn the bolt with the wrench. The sluice gates open and water pours through the dam. We do not need the wrench anymore. And let's go west to the reservoir south. Here are south of what was formerly a lake. However, with the water level lowered, there is merely a shallow stream easily crossed. Paths lead east, south, and southwest. So let's go north. And this takes us to the reservoir itself. You're on what used to be a large lake, but which is now a large mud pile. There are shores to the north and south. Half buried in the mud is an old trunk bulging with jewels. Let's get the trunk. And then continue on our way north. This is Reservoir North. You're in a cavern to the north of what was formerly a lake. However, with the water level lowered, there is merely a shallow stream easily. A slimy stairway climbs to the north. There is a handheld air pump here. Let's get the pump. And then go south back to the reservoir. South back to Reservoir South. And then go southwest to the troll room. This is where we go south to the cellar, and then back up to the living room, and we're going to put the trunk in the case. Done. Let's go after the pot of gold. While we're at it, let's get the scarab and the emerald. So let's drop the screwdriver. Go back down into the cellar, Go north to the troll room, northeast to reservoir south, east to the dam, down to the dam base. You're at the base of a dam which looms above you. The river Frigid begins here. Across it to the east, cliffs form giant walls stretching north-south along the shore. There is a folded pile of plastic here, which has a small valve attached. Let's inflate the pile with the pump. The boat inflates and appears seaworthy. A tan label is lying inside the boat. Let's read the label. We have taken the label. Hello, sailor. Instructions. To enter a body of water, say launch. To get to shore, say land, or the direction you want to go. Frobaugh's Magic Boat Company warranty. This boat is guaranteed for 9 seconds from date of purchase or until used, whichever comes first. Good luck. Let's get in the boat. You are now in the magic boat, and let's launch. Frigid River in the magic boat. You are on the Frigid River, just below the dam. The river flows quietly here. There is a landing on the west shore. Now here we need to wait. We're going to drift. Wait again. The current carries you downstream. Frigid River in the magic boat. The river descends here into a valley, either shore. In the distance, a faint rumbling can be heard. Going to wait again. Time passes. The current carries you downstream. Frigid River in the magic boat. The sound of rushing water is nearly unbearable here. On both the east and west shores are beaches. There is a red buoy here, probably a warning. If we stay in this water much longer, we're going to go over a waterfall, which is, well, it is death. So let's get the buoy. And then let's go east. As you take the buoy, you notice something odd about the feel of it. And we're going to a beach. The magic boat comes to rest on the shore. Sandy beach in the magic boat. You are on a large beach on the east shore of the river, which flows by quickly. A path runs south along the river, and a sand-filled passage leads northeast. There is a shovel here. Let's get out of the boat. You're on your own feet again. Let's open the buoy. Opening the red buoy reveals a large emerald. Let's get the emerald, and then drop the buoy, because we do not need it anymore. And then we are going to get the shovel. From here we want to go northeast to a sandy cave. This is a sand-filled cave whose exit is to the southwest. And let's dig in sand with shovel. We're going to do this 4 times. You seem to be digging a hole. The hole is getting deeper, but that's about it. You are surrounded by a wall of sand on all sides. You spot a scarab in the sand. So let's get the scarab. And then we want to go southwest to the sandy beach. And let's lighten our load some. Let's drop the shovel and pump and label. And then go south to A.G.A Falls. This is where we would have went over had we stayed in the water much longer. You are near the top of A.G.A Falls. The only path leads north. A beautiful rainbow spans the falls to the west. Let's wave the scepter. This reminds me a lot of Advent, Colossal Cave Adventure, where we had to wave the scepter in order to get across something. The rainbow solidifies and is now walkable. The stairs and banister are the giveaway. Let's go west to the end of the rainbow. Here on a small rocky beach by the frigid river, below the falls, a rainbow crosses over the falls to the east, and a narrow path continues to the southwest. At the end of the rainbow is a pot of gold. Let's get the pot of gold. And then from here, we want to head southwest to the canyon bottom. The walls of the river canyon may be climbable here. To the northeast is a narrow path. Let's climb up to canyon view. You are atop the west wall of a great canyon offering a marvelous view of the mighty frigid river below. Across the canyon, the walls of the white cliffs join the mighty ramparts of Flathead Mountain. To the north, S.A.G.A Falls may be seen, complete with rainbow. Even further upstream, the river flows out of a great dark cavern. To the west is an immense forest stretching for miles. It seems possible to climb down the canyon from here. So we want to go west to the forest edge, west again to the forest, west to behind the house, west through the window into the kitchen. And here, instead of going directly through, we are going to open the sack. And we need the garlic from the sack. Opening the brown sack reveals a clove of garlic and a lunch. Let's get the garlic. And then we're going to head west into the living room. And we're going to put some treasures into the case. So we're going to put the emerald and scarab and pot of gold and scepter in the case. Done, 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 and done. And now I want to go make a diamond. So let's get the screwdriver and the lamp, and then head down into the cellar, where we're going to go north into the troll room, northeast to reservoir south, north to the reservoir, north to reservoir north, and north again to the drafty cave. This is a tiny cave with entrances west and north and a dark forbidding staircase leading down. Let's head north again. This will take us to the winding passage. This is a crooked corridor from the north, which forks to the southwest and south, and we're going to go north one more time to the slide room. This small chamber appears to have been part of a coal mine. To the west and south are passages, and a steep metal slide twists downward. Now here we are going to go west into the mine entrance. You're at the entrance of an abandoned coal mine. Strange squeaky sounds come from the passage at the north end. You may also escape to the east. We're going to go north to the bat room. This is why we needed the garlic. You are in a small room with exits to the east and south. There is an exquisite jade figurine here. In the corner of a ceiling, a large vampire bat is holding his nose. Let's get the jade figurine. I can just call that figurine. Let's go east from here to the shaft room. In the middle of this room, a small shaft descends into the darkness below. Above the shaft is a metal framework to which heavy iron chain is attached. There are exits to the west and north. A foul odor can be detected from the latter direction. From the chain is suspended a basket. Now we want to put the torch and the screwdriver in the basket, because we're going to be going to a room where we are going to face an explosive situation if we bring the torch with us. Let's lower the basket, because there may be thieves wandering around and things get stolen. It is now pitch black. Let's light our lamp. The brass lantern is now on. In the middle of this room is a small shaft which descends into the darkness below. It says the same as we had earlier, but a foul odor can be detected from the latter direction. We are going to be going north, which is the direction of the foul odor. This is the gas room. This room smells strongly of coal gas. Narrow tunnels lead east and south. There is a sapphire-encrusted bracelet here. Let's get the bracelet. And then we are going to head east into the coal mine. This is a nondescript part of a coal mine. Let's go north. As you can see, it is another maze. Go south. And then go down. And this should be the ladder room. At the east end of this narrow passage, a ladder leads upward. There's a strong draft from the west, where the passage narrows even farther. There's a small pile of coal here. Let's get the coal. If we attempt to go west, it's too narrow to go anywhere, so we will go up, back into the coal mine, where we go east, and then we go northwest, and then west back into the gas room. Here we go south to the shaft room, and we are going to pull the chain. This should bring the basket back up to us. The basket is raised to the top of the shaft, so we're going to put the coal in the basket. And then lower the basket again. The basket is lowered to the bottom of the shaft, and then we're going to go north into the gas room again. And we're going to go through this maze again. We will go east, and then north, and then south, and then down. We're going to ignore this suspicious-looking individual with a large bag who just stole some of our possessions. We're going to go down to the ladder room, and we are going to drop everything. Here we are going to go west into a drafty room. Since the torch is in this room, we do not need the lantern. This is a small room at the bottom of a long shaft. A heavy iron chain hangs down this shaft. To the south is a passageway, and to the east is a very narrow passage. From the chain is suspended a basket. The basket contains a small pile of coal, a screwdriver, and a torch. So we're going to get all three of them. The basket is securely fastened to the chain, so we must get them separately. Let's get the coal and screwdriver and torch. And then from here, we are going to go south to the machine room. This is a chilly room whose sole exit is to the north. In one corner is a machine reminiscent of a clothes dryer with a switch labeled Start. The switch does not appear to be manipulable by any human hand unless the fingers are about 1/16 by 1/4 of an inch. The machine has a large lid which is closed. Let's open the lid. Put the coal in the machine. Then close the lid, and we want to turn the switch with the screwdriver. The machine produces a dazzling display of colored lights and bizarre noises. A moment later, the excitement abates. Let's open the lid. Opening the machine reveals a huge diamond. Let's get the diamond. Let's go north to the drafty room again. And let's put everything in the basket. Then we're going to go east to the ladder room, and we're going to get everything. Go up to the coal mine, east, northwest, and west takes us back to the gas room, where we want to go south to the shaft room, pull the chain, extinguish the lamp, get the diamond and the torch, and then we are going to go west into the bat room. As you see, the vampire bat is still holding his nose. We're going to go south to the mine entrance. We're going to go east to the slide room. As you may or may not remember, the slide room is a small chamber that appears to have been part of a coal mine. To the west and south are passages, and a steep metal slide twists downward. So we're going to go and take the slide, which will take us back to the cellar, where we can go up. And then we're going to put the diamond and the figurine and the bracelet in the case. Okay, some of these things were stolen from us by the thief, so let's do an inventory. And you see we are only holding the huge diamond, so we're going to have to recover the figurine and the bracelet from the thief. So let's put the diamond in the case. And now we are going to go east, and this takes us to the kitchen. We do not need the garlic anymore, and while we are at it, let's get the knife. We need the knife to kill the thief. And we are going to go back to the west, down into the cellar, and then we are going to go north to the troll room, and then this will go back into the maze. And up, as you can see, we're in the part of the maze with the skeleton. Here we need to go southwest, and then go east again, and then southeast to the Cyclops room. This room has a northwest exit and a staircase leading up. A hungry Cyclops blocks the staircase. From the bloodstains on the walls, you gather that he is not very friendly, though he likes people. In one of the playthroughs that I did of this while learning it, I fed the Cyclops with the lunch from the kitchen, but it did not give me a particular exit afterward that I wanted, so instead we're going to scare the Cyclops by telling it, Ulysses. The Cyclops, hearing the name of his father's deadly nemesis, flees by crashing through the east wall. That hole that he just made in the east wall is important to us, so we're going to be using it later. At the moment, we want to go up into the thief's lair. You hear a scream of anguish as the robber rushes to defend his hideaway, thief's lair. The only visible exit is down a staircase. There is a suspicious-looking individual holding a large bag leaning against one wall. He's armed with a deadly stiletto. There is a sapphire-encrusted bracelet here. There is an exquisite jade figurine here. There is an intricate silver chalice here. The stiletto flashes and blood wells from your leg. As you can see, our bracelet and our jade figurine are here that were stolen. So what we want to do is we want to kill the thief with the knife. And we hope that we can kill him before he kills us, just like we dealt with the troll. The thief receives a deep gash in his side. The thief stabs nonchalantly with his stiletto and misses. So we try again. The blow lands, making a shallow gash in the thief's arm. You dodge as the thief comes in low. This is reminding me a lot of the fight that happened in Rocka 2. You charge, but the thief jumps nimbly aside. The thief stabs nonchalantly with his stiletto and misses. A good slash, but it misses the thief by a mile. You dodge as the thief comes in low. I don't know the word thief. The fatal blow strikes the thief square in the heart. He dies. As the thief breathes his last breath, a cloud of sinister black fog envelops him. When it lifts, the carcass is gone. Let's look at the room again. As you can see, there's a stiletto, a bracelet, a jade figurine, and a chalice. Let's get all. We cannot pick up the chalice because we're carrying too much. Let's drop the stiletto and get the chalice. Then we want to go back down into the Cyclops room. And remember that opening to the east? This takes us directly to the living room. And here we want to put the chalice and the torch and the figurine and the bracelet in the case. Even though I misspelled bracelet, it accepted it. A voice whispers, "Look to your treasures for the final secret." Let's look in the case. In the trophy case is an ancient parchment map. Your treasures include a sapphire-encrusted bracelet, a jade figurine, a torch providing light, a chalice, a huge diamond, a scepter, a pot of gold, beautiful jeweled scarab, a large emerald, a trunk of jewels, a gold coffin, a crystal skull, a painting, a leather bag of coins, and a jeweled egg. We need the map. And then we have just a little bit more of the game to go. So let's go east. And this puts us in the kitchen. And then we're going to go east again out the window. So we are behind the house, and we're going to go south. We're facing the south side of a white house. There is no door here, and all the windows are boarded. We are going to go west, and this will put us west of the house. You are standing in an open field west of a white house with a boarded front door. A secret path leads southwest into the forest. You could circle the house to the north or south. There is a leaflet here, a small mailbox here. If you remember when we first came through here and we got the leaflet from the mailbox, there was no secret path. So we are going to go southwest, inside the burrow. You have entered a stone burrow. The door closes behind you, leaving you in darkness. But ahead is a brightly lit cavern. Floating in the cavern is a large sign. You have completed a great and perilous adventure which has tested your wit and courage. You have mastered the first part of the Zork trilogy. Prepare yourself for an even greater test. The Zork trilogy continues with Zork II, the Wizard of Frobos, and Zork III, the Dungeon Master. Your score is 350 of 350 points in 288 moves. This gives you the rank of Master Adventurer. Would you like to restart from the beginning, restore a saved position, or end this session of the game? Type restart, restore, or quit. As you can see, even as a minigame, Mini Zork is exceptionally long in comparison to the other games we've been playing. And I can tell you now, Full Zork 1 is even more so. But what is my opinion of Mini Zork? Was it worth its legacy? I think as a demo, it is exceptional. Most demos exist to give you a taste of gameplay, but even if it's not a complete Zork 1, it is still a complete game in its own right. It's exceptionally atmospheric, with great descriptions and visualization. The puzzles, though taken directly from Zork 1 for the most part, with some variation, looking at you, A.G.A, are solid and engaging. One could actually play this and continue on to playing Zork 2, and not really have missed much more than the extra 2 months it takes to solve the rest. When I first played this, I played it on the Commodore 64, and I have to say, I find Tom Hunt's CTH parser to be a perfect imitation of the stock Infocom parser. And I personally prefer the light blue on blue of the Atari over the light gray on gray of the Commodore. It's much easier on the eyes. All in all, I would give this game much more than a pass. I'm going to give it my personal seal of approval. Please, play it. Or you can use it as an inspiration to get through a good portion of Zork 1 and solve the rest before I get around to posting the Let's Play for you. It will be a great use of your time. Which reminds me, another great use of time? Like and or subscribe. I mean, seriously, I just did Mini Zork with you, and if that is not true friendship, I do not know what is. You can even post a comment, especially if you thumbs down something of mine. Please tell me why so I can get better. Even shoot me a request. They take time to get around to, but I enjoy requests. In the meantime, however, please take care, be well, and I look forward to our next adventure together.